guys, this is Mrs. Honora once again, another edition of Garden of Io, and this time we're filming inside, but we will go outside later on. I just wanted to answer some questions that people have asked me over the last few months, things about gardening. And one of the question is, should one plant before the fall starts? You know, in our region, we have 4 climates, which is winter, spring, summer, and fall. Usually spring is when most people plant because that's when the cold season is over and the warm weather is beginning to come. Plus it rains more in spring. But personally, I plant all year round, except in winter. And even in winter, sometimes I do plant because our winter in this area is not harsh. We don't have snow falling most of the time. So sometimes in winter, like sometimes even in January, we're lucky to get some 70-degree weather out there. It's not often, but you know, when the weather is a bit warm, I do go out and still plant. And my plants do not die but usually at that time what I plant are the perennials. I put in more of my roses when it's warm. So if it's a warm winter day, maybe in the 60s, miraculously, maybe high 50s, yeah, you can still plant. But if it's very cold, below zero, and snow is in the ground, obviously you can't plant because not only is it too cold, but there's snow. So I basically plant all year round as long as the weather permits me to. Another question is, how often should you water? Watering is based on the weather. If like yesterday it rained, and it rained hard. I could tell it was a good rain. It soaked the ground. So if let's say on Wednesday it rained, I would not water again until maybe 3 or 4 days later. So if it rained hard on Wednesday, I would not water till Thursday, Friday, Saturday, probably Sunday. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, Saturday or Sunday. But if it rained on Wednesday and it still rains on Saturday, definitely you shouldn't water if it's raining often. But if it rains Wednesday, it doesn't rain again within the next 4 days, I would water. And then if you have container gardening, like pots outside that have flowers, you cannot wait 4 days to water those. You have to water it at least every 2 days or maybe every other day, depending on the size of the pot. Because a plant that is placed in a pot does not get enough, the roots don't go into the soil, the real soil in the ground, so it's hard for it to get water. So yes, if it's in a pot, you water more often. If it's in the ground, I normally do every 4 days, depending on the weather. Definitely if it's winter time, officially winter, when it's not in the 90 degrees anymore, maybe there's snow out there, I would stop watering altogether until spring when the snow begins to melt. So this decision is usually based on what region you are, because in winter, some areas have worse winters than some areas. But if you live in an area like Florida, California, that it doesn't snow and it's not as cold as upstate New York, yeah, you should be watering with the same schedule you were doing in the summer, you know, because it's warmer and there's no snow, you don't get snow. Another question is, should you water more when you plant in a pot or when you plant directly in the soil? So I've answered that question. If you're gonna put your plants in the pot, you need to water more often. Maybe every other day or every 2 days. And it also depends on how hot it is out there. If it's in the 90s, 100s, maybe every day. But if it's in the 60s, 50s, maybe every other day or every 2 days if it's in a pot. If it's in the ground, you can do like maybe every 4 days. depending on the rain. If it rains more often, definitely you don't need to water because Mother Nature is doing it for you. So I've just answered just about every question I can think of. If you have any more questions, call me 571-719-1102, or you can go to my Facebook page, leave a comment, or my YouTube channel, Garden of Ayo, and leave a comment and I will answer you back. Thank you. Bye.